Welcome back to the Chronically Positive Pod.
Cast.
Welcome back to the Chronically Positive Podcast Season 2. This season is all about love, relationships, family with chronic illness. We are getting into all of it. And today it is a very exciting and special episode because I'm here with my boyfriend, Matthew.
Hi. It's me. I'm the boyfriend.
Yes, Matthew is a very kind and supportive man.
Oh.
And we just want to talk about our relationship and how, oh wow, they look great. It wasn't easy.
The secrets.
The secret. We're going to talk about the good, the ugly, the sexy. We're going to talk about it all and we're going to answer your questions. But before we do, I have a favor to ask. If you haven't already, please subscribe, follow, rate, leave a review, whatever platform that makes sense. It really helps the podcast get out to people who would benefit from hearing these stories. Anyways, let's get to it. Season 2 is all about love and relationship with chronic illness, and we thought that we've been dating for 3.5 years. I've had a chronic illness for pretty much all of it, that we might have some wise words of wisdom and some experiences that a lot of people may be able to relate to. Okay, so many of you know him, many of you don't. And he has been so kind to come here on the show.
I try.
To answer all your questions and the untold secrets of our very juicy relationship.
Juicy.
Cheesy?
On one side. The cheese. The cheese is all on one side of the room here.
Yeah, that is true. You eat enough cheese for the both of us, and I can't even eat the cheese.
I do eat all the cheese.
Okay, Matthew, before we begin, is there anything you want to share about yourself that you want people to know?
I don't know. Things people know about me. While Isla was setting up the cameras and microphones and everything, the past 2 hours, I was playing Slay the Spire. I'm a bit of a gamer, a nerd, you might say.
Yeah.
Like all things nerdy, Dungeons and Dragons, movies, video games, board games.
Yeah. I think a lot of people listening do all those things because they're all things you can do from your home.
That's true. And yeah, things you can do while sitting down.
Yeah. Are you hot?
Am I hot?
Yeah.
No.
I'm hot.
She asked that a lot. I thought you were going to ask, are you high? And I was going to say, are you freaking kidding?
Okay.
Are you nervous?
No, I've been running around this room trying to make everything perfect.
I think you're nervous.
I'm so nervous.
She's so nervous.
Should we start from the beginning? Is that a yes?
There's a lot of burps you're going to have to cut out of this.
Wait, I realize they're going to hear me drinking.
That's okay. We're going to cut that. It's fine. Or we don't have to.
They're going to hear it all. Okay.
That's true.
So from the beginning, a lot of people want to know how we met.
We met on a dating app known as Hinge.
Yes. And I ghosted Matt for a little bit.
She did.
Like,
Well, to be fair, I had a pretty lame, Hinge, you have prompts. People put little I don't know. I guess they're also prompts.
no, I responded to you because I liked what you wrote, the first thing you wrote me.
No, I know it, but it was stupid what I
Well,
said.
we should tell them what it was.
Yeah, well, okay, but to be fair, yours was kind of silly. So on like Hinge or you put like little dating profile things. Hers was like, what is your biggest fear? And hers was my ceiling fan flying off the ceiling and hitting me in the back of the head.
Valid fear. And
Okay, actually every time I've told a story and there was like a lady present, a woman present, they're like, oh my God, yes, I totally get that.
And we just unlocked this fear for a lot of people listening.
I don't know.
You're welcome.
Men out there, are you also afraid of that? I'm not.
You ever see ceiling fans and they're like, bring it back.
I bring it back. So yeah,
You responded to
I said, watch out, it's right behind you.
I thought that was really clever.
I mean, what can I say? I'm a man of ingenuity, wit, you might say.
And I don't remember what I said.
I don't remember either, honestly. Well, yeah, I remember just making some quip about like stealing a bus.
Oh.
And then
Something about like I was like hesitant to talk to people. I was like, I never meet up with people because like I don't like talking to strangers or whatever. And then you made a Forrest Gump reference about the bus.
Oh, that's right. But She hadn't even seen Forrest Gump.
Did I pretend I had seen it?
I think so. She hasn't seen any movie.
Well, I've seen them now.
Yeah, because I make her. And then she falls asleep during half of them. That's okay. Anyways, so after lying about Forrest Gump to me, she ghosted me. We're off to a great start here, by the way.
Well, because he was like, if I get a bus, it's like that scene where he gets on the bus and he's like, I don't talk to strangers.
Then we won't be strangers
anymore. So he was going to get a bus and blah, 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 blah.
And so she ghosted me for a couple weeks. And then a couple weeks later, I think a message like, hey, I got the bus. Like, when are we doing this? And then she responded, and then we fell in love.
Well, no.
Oh.
Not that quickly. So many people asked, was I chronically ill before we started dating? The answer is
like yes and no.
Yes. Like, I didn't know it. I was doing all the stuff. We went skiing. We went bowling.
Well, I remember, so on our first date, Isla had not mentioned to me anything of any like allergies or, anything. And then on our first date, I'm like, hey, like we're ordering food, and she orders a burger without a bun. I'm like, what? She's, oh, I'm allergic to gluten. It's like, okay, and, goes on. I'm also allergic to, this and this and also that. Okay. And I guess like, hey, do you want to get a beer? Like they have, like beer service while we're bowling. You're like, no, I don't really feel like drinking.
Did I say that, or I say I don't drink?
I think you just said no, you didn't really feel like drinking.
Or I drove, and I actually hadn't had my license for that long.
You also just didn't tell me that you couldn't like drink alcohol.
I thought I did.
No,
I did not.
I think it was like a couple days in that you like told me. And yeah, so it was just kind of funny. You were like easing me into it. Like, oh, I also have narcolepsy.
Oh yeah, but now I think maybe the narcolepsy isn't narcolepsy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I do fall asleep very easily a lot.
Yeah, you also sleep for 12 hours a lot.
Anyways, so no. I guess the answer is no. Like, I grew up my whole life dealing with stuff, which y'all know.
I'd say the answer is yes.
Yeah, but I wasn't like diagnosed. Like, I was like, we could go to the grocery store. Like, we could go skiing. Like, it wasn't like I was out for the count,
No, because you can do those things doesn't mean you don't have a chronic illness.
Okay, so yes, but it got really bad 3 months in. That was like when it started affecting us. It affected us. It didn't really affect us that bad in the beginning.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you can't drink alcohol or eat burgers with a bun, like that doesn't
compared to what it is now. It's like,
yeah,
take that any day. So yeah, so 3 months in, I started just like kind of fainting more.
Well, it happened the first time we noticed was it was after we went skiing, right? I think that was like the morning after skiing. You like stayed at my house, and then you couldn't drive home.
Maybe. Anyways, I was dizzy a lot, like pre-syncope, pre-fainty a lot, more and more and more, and then it all kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember that was like the first time, and then you would start like shaking. I remember we were trying to watch Lord of the Rings, and you like had like these like shaking fits.
Yeah, whenever I used to like, and like still, but it doesn't happen as much. Like you don't see it. Like before I faint, or like pre-syncope, they call them like, I think it's like fainting convulsions. You're not having a seizure, but it can cause like pre-syncope convulsions. I don't know if that's the actual term, but it was scary to watch.
Yeah, just my dad has seizures, so
yeah,
it's not a fun thing to watch.
Yeah. But I was conscious, which was during it.
That's good because we were watching Lord of the Rings, and I wasn't gonna let you be unconscious for that.
No, hold on. I need salt.
There we go.
There we go.
First salt break of the evening. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna chug.
Oh god.
I'm gonna plug your ears. Matt hates it when I chug.
I hate most sounds. This is what relationships are all about, by the way. Plugging your ears where your girlfriend chugs to an entire gallon of water.
I need to. I feel fainty.
16 times a day. And then she gives you a death stare.
I did it.
I'm proud of you.
Hopefully it works. I'm going to be on the floor.
All right.
So it got bad kind of quickly. And then I was going through all his diagnosis, and there were like points I was like in bed for like days, right? Kind of felt like that. In and out of the hospital. Nothing was really helping until I finally got on some medicine. And then it was kind of like a slow rehabilitation.
Don't worry.
What? Yeah?
There you go. Let's get that in there.
Thanks.
Of course.
You were like staring at me and I'm like, am I saying the wrong thing?
No, you just had water in your chin.
Didn't want to interrupt me.
Well, I'll say that.
Yeah, slow rehabilitation. And yeah, here we are.
It's been a long 3 years. Almost 3 years ago to the day, right? It happened in March.
The end of February.
There you go.
Yeah, 3 years. Do you want
Do you want to give a little more background?
Yeah.
So, yes, we started dating about 3 months. And wait, was it like 3 months? Yeah, I guess, it was like 3 months in that because we went skiing like for Valentine's Day.
And it was like that next week.
That's when I started noticing it.
And I started a new job and it was like the second day of work, which was like February 15th. So February 15th. Yeah.
Yep. Started a new job. Then you failed at work. Bad things
I
happened.
never went back.
Yeah, that's probably for the best,
Yep.
considering everything. Let's see here.
It's been hard.
It has been tough times and it has been good times. Definitely some tough times.
Very trying times.
Trying times, that is for sure. A lot of SpongeBob. That's her comfort show. Me sitting there playing a game on my phone or something. And watch SpongeBob for 3 hours and she's in bed.
Yeah.
And then her buying me a bunch of cheese to make me feel better in the evening time.
It all works out.
It all works out. We have give and take.
We've learned a lot about patience.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And not overreacting.
Trying to
On
anyways.
both of our ends.
Yep.
It's easy to freak out when... Why are you laughing?
Is you're my neurotic Jewish girlfriend? Saying it's easy to freak out is an understatement.
Okay, how would you word it?
No, that's it. That's it.
We said it's an understatement.
Let's see. Okay, when we're walking home one night from like dinner or something, and it had like just rained.
This has nothing to do with my chronic illness, by the way.
And there was a bit of a breeze, and we were under a tree, and some rain from a tree fell and like landed in Isla's mouth. Oh my God, I think a bat just spit into my mouth and now I have rabies.
I wasn't fully serious.
That was your first, you were 100% serious. That was you jumped to that immediately. She's crying.
Oh.
It just rains. You're under a tree. The wind blows. You feel some water.
It didn't just rain.
It did just rain. What? What's your first thought? A bit of a raindrop from a tree fell on me. No. Bat rabies in my mouth. I am going to die.
We still don't know. Sometimes rabies doesn't activate for like years.
I think that we know.
You're right. I'm rabid.
Exactly. That's just like one example.
I'm trying to think of something that you do, but you don't do anything. I'm always the one who does stupid stuff.
I just ate a pint of cheese and complained about it. That was my decision. I think that's probably...
Okay, Matt has acid reflux, and he just ignores that he should not eat certain foods and goes, why is it so bad all the time? Why isn't my acid reflux gone any better?
It's gotten better.
And then he drinks alcohol, he has cheese, tomatoes.
I can't live.
Well, then you can't say, why is it so bad today?
I moderate, I eat decently healthy.
You eat healthy, but there's certain foods that
Yeah. You have to have cheat days,
Yeah, and you just have to accept that you're going to feel bad.
I don't know, what the right word is. Like when you eat a pint of cheese and then you're just like, ugh, why did I do that? I guess.
But I feel like a pint of
regret.
cheese for someone who doesn't even have tummy issues, that's a lot of cheese.
It wasn't a pint of cheese. We're just going off the rails here.
We are. I don't even know where we were.
Is not,
Patience.
Patience.
It's good.
Yeah. Patience
And
is important.
openness. When you feel something, you say it.
I've been trying to get better at that.
Because when you hold it in, it expresses itself as not good.
It's true.
Badness.
It's probably been one of our biggest issues, I think.
Yeah.
Is when you're having difficulties and it's kind of taking a toll on me as well, I kind of shut down in reaction. I just become very quiet. I don't know how to react to these things sometimes. I never dealt with things like this before. I never knew how to react to something like this. It's a hard thing when you see the person that you love like really struggling.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't know how to react.
Yeah, and then in return, it makes me feel bad for feeling bad. So then we're just going back and forth, making each other feel bad.
Yeah.
And we're still figuring that part out. But I think it's not as bad as it used to be.
I think we've been doing better at expressing our feelings.
I agree.
We try. There's a difficulty of our relationship. What's a positive? Here's one. Like I said earlier, I'm a big nerd. I'm a homebody, My computer's inside, my Xbox, my PlayStation, all my board games is inside.
We have a lot of fun inside.
I don't, if I was staying inside all day, usually not a problem.
No.
Yeah. Although she doesn't like to play all the games I like to play, and that's
we like to
too.
parallel play too.
We like to parallel play. Yeah.
Yes.
She's not going to play some of the games I play. A little too complicated.
I've tried.
You do try. I give you credit. Yeah.
I do want to pick up our Baldur's Gate again though. Boulder.
Boulder. She says Baldur's Gate.
Is that so wrong?
It's like a ball. Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we're big Stardew Valleyers.
Yeah.
We're like, what, 10 millionaires?
I don't know.
That wasn't English.
I just spent $2 million on our grand clock, so I think we're like at 8 million now.
Oh. Well, we'll get back there because winter's almost over.
That's right. Winter's almost over, and then we got some crops to plant.
We're doing really.
It's coming good.
Yeah.
We're making our way to 100%. Shout out to Stardew Valley. That is a good.
That has been a good game for us. Should we answer some questions?
I think it's a good idea. Let's see what people want to know.
Who we are.
So we tell them, right?
Close enough.
The question.
So the question was relevant to what we were talking before. What is your guys' opinion on people telling the chronically ill person how hard it is for them to watch them? Which is kind of what we were talking about.
What is our opinion on telling a chronically ill person how hard it is to watch them?
Yeah.
Well,
that's kind of what we were just talking about.
So I guess I'm trying to get where they're coming out with this question, like, because I guess I can see how it could be like.
You don't want to make the person feel bad.
Yeah, it could be belittling, But I think when it comes from a place of love and honesty, where like I tell you like, hey, it's really hard for me to like see you like struggling, and I just need you to know that, not that I like want you to hide it.
Right.
I just like need you to know like sometimes I'm not going to be okay when you're not okay, just because like I like care about you.
Yes. And I follow up with, is there any way to not be okay, but also like in that moment, try to be supportive because I'm the one actively like in an episode or whatever it is, like lead with love and care. Like, am I making sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that moment. And then we can talk about how hard it is after it's not in like the heat of whatever, it's fainting or having allergic whatever the thing may be, because then we're both trying to help each other in kind of an escalated moment. But you also have to be able, it's a tricky thing because both people have to be able to feel and go through it. And I don't think
feel what they feel.
I don't think we figured the science out for that yet. Yeah.
You can't tell someone how to feel.
No, you can't. But yeah, that's all I really have on that. That's a tricky one. I think definitely you can tell them.
It's personal.
It's not. Obviously. Yeah, but I don't.
Like it's up to the couple. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you're offended by someone telling you how hard it is to see you, like maybe you should try and like see it through their perspective and like try.
Right. And like it's the reason it's hard for them is because they love you so much and they don't want to see you suffering.
Yeah,
So it comes from a good place.
exactly.
That's what I try to remind myself.
And I guess it can be, it depends on what you're dealing with, because some things obviously are much like more intense than other things.
Right. There's many different scenarios that
Well, like,
could be happening.
you know, get personal. When I saw my dad have a seizure for the first time, like physically saw it, you know, like that messed me up.
Yeah.
It was like
Traumatizing.
You know, when like you see someone, you know, it's supposed to be like a parental figure,
Yeah.
like in that
Someone who
state.
usually takes care of
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Just like so vulnerable. It like that's a very big moment in your life. Like not in a good way. Obviously, it's horrific. Same with a loved one. You know, your spouse, your significant other. It can change how you feel about a person. It's in a second. It can change how you feel about yourself. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious what other people might say. Like someone, obviously we're like on the same wavelength. I'm curious,
Yeah.
like what someone who's like, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Like
Well, if you're listening,
reason it
comment.
would be, yeah.
Comment your perspective. We'd love to hear it. That's a good question.
Yep.
I like that one. Okay. Next question. How do you tell a new partner about your illness? We haven't really gone through that, but if I were to put myself in that situation, I guess I kind of have. I told you I had narcolepsy.
Yeah. Although I guess I will say I probably would have appreciated more like if you had just told me some of these things like even before we like went out on a date, you know? Because
Like in text?
yeah, just like I don't know, like before.
Like I'm allergic to a lot of things.
Yeah, well, because we picked a place to go get dinner. And,
Oh my God,
like,
are you mad at me?
I'm mad you did 3 years ago. I think because I felt bad in the moment, like I was worried like you wouldn't be able to eat things. Or
Yeah, I think the way that when that happened, I like at the time I wasn't as limited as I am now. There's always something that I could order, so it like didn't really matter where I ate. So I was just kind of in my head was like, I'll just order something without
yeah,
bread.
I mean, I can understand it can be like scary and like very.
I don't know if it was scary. I just didn't like because I just was such a self managed. You know, like it wasn't something that I needed from anybody else at that point, and I could go to any restaurant and always find something to eat. So I guess it just didn't. It wasn't like I don't want to tell him because like when I was there, I was like, oh, I told you. But I understand like now, like if I was like starting fresh and we were meeting each other, I'd be like, hey, I have a lot of allergies. I probably should pick the restaurant.
Yeah,
And I drink a lot of salt.
just be ready for me to chug a whole Stanley full of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Salt water.
I think it would be impossible for me to start dating somebody without mentioning because it is really revolves around my every hour of every day. So what was the question? How do you tell someone or when should you tell somebody?
I think it was like, how do you?
How do you tell a new partner about your illness?
Yeah, I mean, just tell them.
Just straight it up.
Like,
yeah. Don't downplay it because you don't want any surprises.
Well, from the other side, like you don't want to be surprised. You know, I could see like being upset if you were to go like on a date with someone and then like they tell you like during the date like, oh, by the way, like I have a lot of like life altering health issues. Like you could might make me feel like a bit like lied to, like.
But if it's a first date and you're not locked into a relationship,
That's
I would say like you're dating for like a month and you've been able to hide this really well.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have this lifelong, like, I feel like that's way too long. Like you probably within the first few times of meeting each other, if you're going to be like, I'm going to try to pursue this person as early on as possible.
Absolutely. No, I like, because like I was saying, like one, you might be upset if they didn't tell you that, and like you're several months. But I can also see it where you maybe want to ease someone into something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Hinge and you're just meeting someone, like, oh, by the way, I have this and this and this and this. I can see
it'd be
like that's not a that's
right,
not
because
gonna
then
work.
you're just seeing their illness before you even meet them. And
Yeah,
then you're like, you
gonna
should put
change
the person
perceptions.
first before, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Have some playful banter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them get to know you. And then if you feel like you can trust them, you can start. Anyways, did we answer the question? I think we did.
I think we pretty thoroughly answered
All
that
right.
one.
Next question. Do you feel embarrassed or ashamed when you need help, have to modify plans? Yes. I constantly feel like a burden, even though I tell everyone on my account, don't feel like a burden. But anytime I have to ask for help or modify plans, or even, there was one instance where Matt's mom invited me to go to Sephora. And I originally said no because I'd never been out with her and used a rollator. And I didn't know if she knew that I used a rollator. And the idea of explaining that, or like having to like have her like put it in her trunk, anything just seemed so much harder than like explaining it or like asking her like if it would be okay. Anyways, I went and it was great. But I think that's an example of like one of the things.
Yeah, that's another hard part about the relationship is like disappointment, which is natural for these things to happen. You're not in any relationship. You're bound to be disappointed. I just think when you're dating someone who can't meet you on the same like physical level, I think it's just a hard thing that we've like learned to accept and try and like work around more.
Yeah.
Like for example, I love to ski. Isla can't really ski. I mean, maybe sometime in the future, but the summertime is a really, really tough time for us, I think, because that's when it's really hot out. And I know like going out anywhere is going to be hard just because, you're going to.
Is it air conditioned? Is it a long walk from the parking lot? Mm-hmm. It's been extra hard because it's just our summers are even, they're just getting hotter.
I'm so glad the world isn't consistently getting hotter on a daily basis for the rest of our lives until the end of
Well, soon it'll be too hot for you too.
That's right. We'll be on.
And then we'll be on the same page.
Even playing field.
Wow. It all works out.
The oil industry is really looking out for us.
They just want us to be one.
That's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that question was more aimed towards like you.
That's okay. We can each answer it.
Well, no, I just because it said like.
Yeah.
Is it hard?
Yeah. Is it hard? Of course it's hard because I never want to make anyone disappointed, and I always want to. There's so many things I want to do that I used to be able to do. But as I've been learning, I feel like there's always a way to like adapt and like figure out a certain way to like do an experience or whatever it may be. Like going to a museum seemed impossible, but I brought my rollator, we had a great time, and we did it. Or I don't know.
I think it's about changing expectations.
Changing expectations in like just because we can't do it maybe a way an abled couple could, like we can find a different way to do it, and that doesn't mean that the experience is going to be any less.
Mm-hmm. Or also just like learning to, I'll do a lot of things just like on my own sometimes.
Yeah.
Just kind of like learning to be okay with that.
Yeah, and finding the things that we can do together that we like to do, and we just do those things, the two of us.
Like, I'm a pretty solitary person sometimes, so like I'm okay with that. I guess it's also just trying. That's something I had trouble with. Like I think we discussed, like sometimes like I would make her feel like ashamed just because like how I reacted to like certain things.
Yeah.
The question was talking about being shamed. So if you're dating someone with health issues, I think try to not make them feel ashamed, because obviously like if you're limiting the people you care about, like I can imagine that's like a horrible feeling, and like you don't want them to feel horrible just for being themselves.
Yeah.
So I remember you wrote to me and just try and offer me some grace.
Yes.
Give me some grace.
And I definitely like really pick and choose when I ask for help, because I don't want to I probably try more things on my own than I probably should, and then I end up feeling like crap. But like, because again, it's hard to ask for help, but like I really do only ask for help if I really need it. Or I'll ask you for help for like something that seems easy for you, but I'm asking you because it's preventing me from feeling cruddy after doing it. Even if it seems like super simple, like reaching something up high or whatever it is. So, yeah. Point at the end of the day is hard. I don't think it's something that ever really gets easy. Because no one ever wants to like put somebody else out. And no, whatever you're dealing with. So I think it's a very difficult thing. But yeah, maybe it does get easier the more you do it. I don't know.
I think everything, it's you know a person more, you spend more time with them, learn their ways, and I don't know, maybe hopefully it gets easier. I think we've been doing better. Everyone is their own different roller coaster. Every relationship's their own different thing. Different thing to master.
Yeah. Even if it feels hard to ask for help, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you can't ask for help, then that's something you need to talk about. But if it feels hard and you still do it, like that's okay. But you shouldn't be scared. It can it can be hard, but you shouldn't be scared to ask your partner for help.
That's for sure.
Because I've been there before. But not anymore. So, yeah. Okay.
What's that next question?
Well, some of these are kind of similar. How do you get over feeling like a burden on your partner? I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like it's just like something that like you always have.
Yeah, because people can feel like a burden even without a
Yeah, I think
illness.
I think everyone feels like a burden sometimes.
I wonder.
Yeah, I don't
Like that.
how you deal with it is just I don't know. I don't have the answers to all these questions.
Well,
but I feel them and I
don't
relate
think there
to
are
them.
answers to some of these questions. I think it's all very personal, like how you, especially when it comes to your partner.
Yeah.
It's a lot about how they are as people, what they're willing to do for their partner. Some people are a lot more patient than other people. So I guess like how to not feel like a burden, probably like a lot of it just comes down to communication and just like being really honest. And I guess that might not help you feel like a burden. Well, it has to go like both ways. You have to, be like, hey, I really need your help with this. Like you said, like I know.
Well, it's how to deal with it when you feel it. Wait, what was
I
it?
think it was like how to not. Well, I know. I mean, I was getting there.
How do you get over feeling sorry? Go.
Like if you tell me like, hey, I really need your help with this. I know for you this is like a really easy thing, but for me like this is a lot, and like I might be annoyed just because like you've asked me to help you with like 10 things earlier, and just like I'm in the middle of something.
Right.
Like can you walk out in the cold and help me carry this thing for my car? Like I'm not strong enough to lift it, and like that. Like I could feel annoyed. So I guess it's important for like me to also like communicate like you're not being a burden. I don't know. A lot of times like I'll be annoyed at myself because like I'll get annoyed in the moment, and like 5 minutes later I'll be like, why did I get annoyed? Like that was.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the things I ask you to do, like even if I didn't have a chronic illness, they wouldn't feel as heavy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I guess it's just because I feel like it happens more often.
I just need help getting stuff out of my car.
That's true.
It's a long walk of carrying all this shit.
Loves me carrying her bags.
They're heavy.
I'm saying it in a loving way. You big strong man carrying your purse. I'm always carrying a purse around town. Good thing it matches my my eyes.
That is very nice that he carries my bag of everything. Is very nice. It is.
What can I say?
It looks good on you.
It's not a purse. It's a satchel.
Yes.
I should get a satchel that just for your things.
Yeah.
If I have to carry it, I'll look good.
I don't care as long as I don't have to carry it.
That's an idea. So yeah, get over feeling like a burden. That's personal. Try and talk things through. Ask if you're being a burden. Just say that you are. Well,
Well, you're never a burden. You'll feel like one, and your partner might be like, oh, I don't want to help you with this right now, but that doesn't make you a burden. Okay.
We're being really silly.
Are we going to talk about sex?
We can.
Someone asked, how to keep heart rate and breathing steady while kissing or being intimate. Biggest fear? Well,
That's more of a you question.
you should expect your heart rate to go up a little bit, and that's fine, because even a normal person's heart rate should go up a little bit during that time, because you're in love. I mean, I can feel your heart go up a little bit.
It should.
Although people with POTS have a little less wiggle room for that, so totally understandable. Lay down. That is the safest position you can be in. You know? Take breaks. Wear compression socks.
It's true.
They can be sexy.
They can be. A lot of guys like knee-high stockings or leggings or whatever. Not leggings. Knee-high socks. Yeah.
Even thigh high. Those will get your blood really up to your head. Keep the room cool. Not always great for the other person.
Have a fan on standby.
But we don't really use it anymore.
But you have multiple fans. It's also wintertime.
Anyways, point is, had a fan on standby. Did kind of sometimes ruin the moment. Is sometimes if you are getting too, racy and dizzy or whatever, you just have to stop. And it sucks.
Don't let your heart explode.
No.
Because you want to get it on.
No. And that's another issue that we used to deal with. Worrying about if I was not feeling well during and having to stop. But a lot of times when we did stop, we just take a break and resume at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Never fully. I mean, there were times where it was just like, okay, we can't get back into this. But stopping and restarting is not an issue. You can totally, just because you have to take a break doesn't mean day is ruined.
You can always try again.
You can always try again. Yeah, so keep your heart rate down. Stay really hydrated before. I mean, I always chug before.
She does.
Which is super sexy because that's Matt's favorite sound.
Favorite thing.
He loves the chugging sound.
Chugging water.
Yeah, stay cool, stay hydrated, stay compressed with those stockings. Be laying down and communicate. Those are my suggestions. Do you have any suggestions from the outside?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're talking about keeping your heart rate down while kissing and getting intimate. That can mean a lot of things. Intimate. For me, I keep my heart rate down. I think about baseball.
While we're kissing?
Can't get too excited.
You're funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Cardio is real good for keeping a steady low heart rate. That's what I heard, right?
Don't say that on this podcast.
Oh.
He's saying exercise cures spots. It helps. It helps. It does.
I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm sorry.
All right. Next question. I kind of expanded on that question, but that's okay.
Well, it said intimate. I feel like that kind of...
Yeah. How do y'all share... They said y'all. How do y'all share household chores and cooking with having pod? What?
I do them all.
No,
I do everything.
that's not true. I do the laundry.
Something.
Do you always have clothes?
Because I always have clothes because I wear the same pajama pants 6 days in a row.
Well, I always have clothes.
Good for you.
You always have underwear. I just did a whole batch of your underwear. You always have underwear. You always have socks. And when you said, "Oh, I'm running out of this," I do it.
Yeah, okay.
She does most of them, but I do the laundry.
Okay. I haven't seen the bottom of the laundry bin since we got it.
Because it's always filling up. How could it ever be empty if it's always clothes? I wear like 3 outfits a day. That's why it's never empty.
After...
And I have socks. I go through like 3 a day because they stretch out. So
I was about to say,
I'm getting heated. Sorry.
I saw the other day, Isla used, I think, like 4 forks in the span of maybe 2 minutes. And if she has that sort of discipline when it comes to her clothing,
Yeah, because
I
listen.
can understand why the laundry bin is always full.
So I go to work in my work clothes. I come home and I put on like sweats and a shirt. And then I change for bed and I wear shorts and a sleep shirt. That's 3 outfits in one day.
Do they all need to be washed?
I get stinky and I throw them in.
That's fair. Fair enough. Fair enough. See, if I dressed like you do, our laundry would be overflowing.
I wouldn't be the only one doing it if it was like that.
Oh, God.
Because when I do the laundry, it's literally 85% of my clothes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And that is why the bin is never empty.
I like to conserve.
And so I do the laundry.
So back to the question, how do we... Well, for us personally, I love to cook. That's like my thing. I'm a very clean person. I know likes to try and be clean.
I don't do it as quickly as he would like to, so that usually gets around to it before I can even do it.
She also gets quinoa and salt everywhere. Everywhere. I found a honey packet in her bed
It was
the
closed.
other night. Thank God it was closed. It was a sticky situation. Anyway, so I just said like, hey, I will do the dishes. I like doing the dishes. I like things clean. Cleaning relaxes me. Except for laundry. I don't like doing laundry. I just don't. That stresses me out. But when it comes to, hey, folding sheets, washing dishes, putting them in the dishwasher, that's fine by me, wiping down the countertops, vacuuming.
We have such a small place. It's like not a massive
Yeah.
I did scrub our floors the other day.
That is true. I was
bathroom
impressed.
floors, and I was winded,
She
yo.
took some initiative. She scrubbed our floors. That was good.
I polished
I
them.
appreciated that. So yeah, you do well
You definitely
because I know
carry a lot, but I do contribute in ways.
obviously there are people who are not as well off as you in terms of like your
But
bodily
I was
health.
not always like this either.
I
Like
know,
if we had
but
moved in with
we
each other
also,
2 years.
yeah, we didn't live together when you were at your work. I'm trying to like center around this question because
Yeah.
there are people who might be watching this who are bed bound.
Yeah.
And maybe can't contribute. And I could see how that just gets really stressful. If I had to do the laundry and I don't know, all these other things, I might be a lot more annoyed. I work 10-hour days and I'll come home, I'll leave the house at 7. I come home at 7.
I do too.
That's
I leave at 7 and come back at 7. I've been leaving when you leave. I've been getting up and going. I get up, I go to my parents' house, I work out, then I go to work, and then I come back here and I do all this stuff, and then I come home.
I will give you do work very hard.
But you work very hard.
No, she works a lot harder than I do.
Well, he's in an office for a very long time all day, and that is
in a windowless office.
that is a lot. So,
yeah. But no, she does work very hard, and I do appreciate that.
and I appreciate you working hard.
But my point is, coming home after being out of the house for 12 hours, you want nothing more than to just sit down and just relax and do something that you want to do.
Yeah.
And then I come home and the kitchen's dirty and the sink's full of dishes. I just want to, oh my God, it's.
Wait, is that me though?
No. I'm trying to express.
Oh, if I was unable to do anything.
If you were unable to do
Yes.
anything and
That's
it was
hard.
all on me,
That's
that is
a
a
lot.
really difficult, stressful thing. And that could be taxing on any relationship. And a lot of times relationships, for even healthy people, fights will come around to hey, you're not cleaning the house. You're not doing your chores.
Yeah.
Not even just people in love, people in, roommates.
I dealt with that.
That is a relationship too, not a sexual one, maybe. Who knows? But I had a roommate in college who, God, they never cleaned up anything. It was so annoying because I'm just a very clean person. It just baffled me. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I feel like if you're in a situation where you can't do anything and it's all on that one person, it's hard for them. If you have support, someone can come, help out a couple times a week. If you have that option, maybe it doesn't have to just be that one person.
yeah, I'm just trying to, because I was thinking about that. You could hire a cleaner, but that's not realistic for a lot of
Or a
people.
family member to come help pick up.
But but that could also
saying if it
contribute to
makes
feeling.
sense.
No, of course it
Yes.
makes sense. I'm just
Being more of a burden.
yeah, exactly.
No,
So,
it's hard.
it is
The
very
answer
hard.
is it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, the answer is it's hard. Not everyone's gonna be like me, where they love to clean stuff.
Yeah.
I think the best thing is just find what you enjoy. You know, if you can do anything, like if you're bedbound, if you can just find some chore that you could do to help out, you know, the other person, just find out what you can do.
I've seen a lot of people online show how they adapt to complete certain chores, and like maybe you're not there yet, but like say you are, there's like, I mean, for me, I sit at the bottom of when I'm doing laundry and I throw the wet clothes into the the dryer so I don't have to get up, down, up and down because it's too hard for me. But it works. I just do a flick of the wrist.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
even like throwing it, and it works. So like experiment, with certain things, but don't kill don't.
Yeah, maybe set aside like a day of the week to just like tidy everything up, like every Sunday or something, Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Stay within your limits.
That was a good question.
That was a good question. Yeah. How do you guys manage dates with chronic illness? We pick ones.
We don't. Have you seen the economy?
That's enough.
I'm gonna pay $40 for a salad.
Forget the chronic illness.
Oh my god! Yeah, we were trying to reserve a bowling alley or something for Valentine's Day. No, not the whole alley. We're trying to reserve a lane for like 2 hours.
We were trying to go bowling.
It was like, oh yeah, reservation fee, 2 people for 2 hours. That'll be like $170. What the hell happened to bowling?
This is luxury bowling.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up finding a place. We bowled for 1 hour. It cost us $20. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a really good place.
We do things that we both can do.
Yeah,
and we both enjoy.
We just don't go out very often because one, we're both kind of homebodies. We like to be at home. We like to order in food.
We love to eat at home, and we also don't. We're paying a lot for rent.
That's true. We live in. Let's not doctor ourselves.
We don't get.
We live in an expensive city.
It's not our fault. It was the best place for where we work in opposite directions.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of money on rent, and we don't use a lot of fun money because we love to curl up on the couch. At least I do. Play video games.
We have our shows. Last night after work, made some big taco bowls. We watched Invincible, then we watched Severance.
And then I got really sleepy.
And that's
So did you, though. So it worked out.
Yeah, I didn't. I was very tired. So
long week.
I had a big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we call them dates, but like they could be.
Yeah.
We taco bowls and shows.
We do talk a lot though how we want to go on more dates because whenever we go on a date we're always like that was a lot of fun. Like,
I think a lot of it is like the money aspect and
also that's like a lot. I'll be honest, a lot of my weekends are dominated. Like I'll be hanging out with like friends,
which is fine because I'm like when you're doing that I'm so happy like doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
like
busy with
content and making t-shirts and like I should hang out with friends more, but I'm very content being creative and like doing and making things. So I never feel lonely when you go out or anything like that.
Yeah, when we do go out, it's really nice. Like went to a
if you want to go
museum
bowling,
and it was great. Yeah. And went bowling. Then we went to the Silver Diner afterwards, and that was great.
We definitely have the things that we know work for us. We just don't do them as much because they're not.
Yeah, like we went out with my family like last weekend.
Yeah. So we do the things that I can do and that we like, and we save money.
Yeah, exactly. I try not to. I mean, I don't force her to go anywhere that she doesn't want to go. Last week I went to a bar for a friend's birthday party. It's not her environment, loud, no food you can eat, no drinks you can drink. Really, except I guess you can get some water. But but you would not have liked it.
No.
Or like tomorrow, I'm going to a crawfish boil.
Yeah, I don't want to go to a crawfish boil, and you have to sleep there in West Virginia.
You're doxing me. I need to stop saying that.
Well, this is going to be released like
I know. I'm joking.
After you've been in West Virginia.
Oh
my god! All right, we got to wrap this bitch up.
You can go for as long as you want.
Okay. Someone asked, Do you ever feel pampered or pitied by your partner? If so, how do you deal with that? I do not. That is the simple answer for that one.
Sorry, Rosie. I just got to move this closer. It's okay, little girl. I got a dog. She's my little girl. My little girl. Look at her.
Very
She's so
dark.
cute. I love her so much. If anyone feels pampered, well, I hope you feel pampered, Rosie, because I take good care of you.
You do take care. Does Rosie feel pampered and pitied? She doesn't feel pitied.
Don't feel pitied, yeah.
No, you don't make me feel pampered. I mean, sometimes I feel pampered, but like in a good way.
That's good.
Right? Like you like do things nice.
Yeah. You make me feel pampered.
Yeah, we make each other.
Nothing wrong with feeling pampered.
No. Pitied? Maybe not.
Maybe
I
not.
don't know if I fully understand that question. What do you think they're trying to say?
Do you ever feel pitied? Like
No, the full question, pampered or pitied. I don't feel pitied.
Like they're only being nice to you because you're not feeling
no,
well.
I don't feel that way at all. I don't feel that way at all. And I luckily don't really feel like I've experienced that.
Not the right person to answer that question.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, do you ever feel? And you say,
I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
So there it is. Some people might, and that's not very nice feeling to have.
No.
No.
Are there any things that we think people would want to know? What else? Just make sure we don't
Did we
regret.
cover all our bases that we wanted to talk about?
Sex, burden, help.
Is there anything unique, do you think, that we can offer to people who are in a similar situation?
I guess the only thing would be like your perspective of like sometimes when you would get like nervous or like worried.
I do still get nervous sometimes about if you're going to be okay going through. Like when we went on that flight.
Yeah.
to
I was
Florida.
nervous too. That
was a lot. Honestly, I didn't handle it the best. I wish I'd handled it a little bit better. But
yeah.
That was our first flight together. I mean, it jumps back to a point I talked about earlier about like expectations and just about like, when you expect too much out of someone that might not be able to give.
Yeah.
You're just gonna bring the disappointment for yourself, and that's not gonna make any of you feel good. You just have to like really. It's also about like not caring what other people think.
Yeah, like
worry,
having me in the wheelchair and whatever.
Worrying about judgment.
Because no one really gives a fuck.
Or you're never going to see those people again. Or it's just, it's like, why should you care about the opinions of people you don't even know?
Yeah, and why have to suffer more just because you're worrying about what other people think?
Yeah, you should care about the person that you love rather than the people that you don't know and like looking normal in their eyes.
Yeah.
I guess like to give some context, like I used to be bullied a lot growing up. And I don't know, this is just where we just kind of like jumped into this. I used to be bullied a lot growing up, and I always, because I was a weird kid. I mentioned earlier how I would like dress in all green like every single day, or I played lots of video games. Before video games were cool, now they're cool, which is bullshit.
And like D&D is cool now.
D&D is cool. It's not fair. It's not fair. I remember Halo Reach came out, and I was so excited. I was talking to my friends about that. I was like, oh my God. And this one stupid asshole was, I can't believe you're talking about that. No. He said, of course that's what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, Halo Reach fucking rocked dicks. It was awesome. That game was cool. Go back and play it. Halo Reach is great. It's one of the best games. Fuck you, Riley, you asshole.
Oh, he name drop.
There's a million Rileys in the world. Anyways, it's not fair. But the point is, I felt like a very abnormal person, and I didn't like that. And so I tried to blend in and be as like invisible as possible.
Yes.
And just like I didn't want to be noticed by anyone, because if you were noticed, then they would hurt you. They would make fun of you, or they would find ways to, it was never good to be noticed. So just be quiet and keep your head down. Don't get excited about things. And it's a really shitty way to live.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to having someone with a chronic illness, when you're the person walking around with someone like in a wheelchair, or someone in a who faints in public, and like that causes a lot of attention, and like you don't want to be that person who everyone's paying attention to, like that was very stressful for me.
Yeah.
Because I always want to be that invisible person. So it's taken a lot. I've had to change like as a person of like what I am okay with like what I expect
You're
to be.
used to
Yeah, and just
exposing of yourself or the people around you.
yeah. So I just change is good. Most well, change can be good. Change isn't always good, but it can be good.
Learning to go with change is good.
Yeah, you know. Don't force change, but if you can change to become a better person, a more understanding person, a more patient person, more loving person, then maybe that changes for the best, and you should try and do that if you can.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm not perfect.
You're trying really well.
I try.
Is
So
that a
thank you.
sentence? You're trying really well.
I'm trying really good.
You try. Well, it's not trying really good. It didn't sound good.
Right. So
No, and that trip, like, if looking back, if we took out like all the worry and all the anxiety, like, we got to our flight on time, like everything kind of worked out, you know. If we took out all those emotions,
yeah,
it was fine.
like she was crying on the takeoff. She was
I was really anxious.
She was really anxious, and it was fine. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
In fact, can you superimpose images on this?
Yes.
Can you superimpose the image of you looking like horrible? I took probably the worst picture of her. No, now the second worst, because I have a much worse picture now I got from you bowling.
Oh my God.
The goblin picture.
Are we gonna show that?
If you want to, I'll give it to you for you to show. I love taking horrible pictures of her, especially while she's asleep. I don't know if that's. I'm sure there's consent, right? Do I have implied consent?
You can take a picture. You don't have to ask to take a picture of me in any situation.
There we go. So I have.
What you do with those pictures? Well, actually, you still don't ask me. All of his friends have this picture.
It's a good one. And yeah, so that was a good part of the flight. But anyways, yeah, you were freaking out.
I couldn't stay awake the entire flight. I tried to watch a
and then
movie.
she just passed. I wish I could sleep on planes. I hate planes.
I don't know. I was just out.
Yeah. Although on the bright side, I usually hate flying. I'm nervous when I fly. Her nervousness made me less nervous.
It made you feel confident, right?
Like, jeez, I'm not crying on a plane.
I wasn't like, ugh. I was trying to like not make it obvious that I was. When I get anxious, I cry. So I'm not like, don't be out here being like, she was crying. But like,
no,
I did have tears.
I'm not trying to shame you.
Oh, I know you're. No, you're not trying to shame me. I know.
It's nice that we can look back on it
I
now
can look
and
back
laugh
and
at
say that I was a lot more anxious than I needed to be, but I truly could not make that anxiety go away.
It's difficult.
So I couldn't.
That's the thing about anxiety.
I know I was more anxious than I needed to be, but try to think of it this way. First time flying with an illness that was never this bad before, and knowing that flying can make your symptoms a lot worse, and being stuck in the air, if they got worse, you can't be like, okay, I'm going to leave and go home. So it's a feeling of feeling trapped and unknown of how that's going to make you feel. So it was a lot. But then we flew home and it was fine.
Everything's fine.
And now I know.
Now she knows.
And now I'm going to Italy.
Now she's going to Italy.
Yeah. Just had to rip the Band-Aid off.
You gotta try things and be confident. Confident is important.
Accept emotions.
Ooh. What is they say in Dune? Fear is the mind killer.
I think fear is okay. Fear protects you.
Fear protects you, but don't let fear can overwhelm you, and it can make you worse than you would actually be.
Balance is key.
And confidence is important too.
Like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Body follows the mind.
It's true. I like thinking that you're okay. Won't make you okay, but it might help. Might help you feel better.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling good, don't don't shrug it off. If you're not feeling okay, you feel like something bad's gonna happen.
Right. Don't just pretend you're fine.
Yeah.
But you can tell yourself, okay, I don't feel well now, but it'll pass.
I guess that's also the other benefit of being confident. Like, because if you're worried all the time about not feeling good, and then you're all the time like, oh, I don't feel good.
Then you're not going to feel good. Well, this has been a good one.
I hope so.
Thank you, everyone who submitted your questions. They were all really good questions, right? Definitely had us thinking, and
we learned about ourselves.
We did. We learned a lot about ourselves
And each other.
And Rosie. This was a fun episode. I enjoyed it with you.
Me too. Thanks
Very
for having me on. It was nice.
Therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
It's nice to be here on the other, I always see you working so diligently, interviewing people, and now I'm the one being interviewed.
You
so
are.
It's nice.
And you're fun to interview.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of this podcast episode. It was a good time. Lots of important things were said. And next week, we will be back with another awesome guest. And we'll hear their side of relationships and chronic illness. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, follow, whatever platform you're on where that makes sense. It really helps the show get out to people who would benefit from hearing these stories. Anyways, we'll see you next week with another episode.